Hey, so I got reminded of a lady at my job who seriously tried to get me to have sex and have a baby. So I'm asexual, been that way for years. I've also been diagnosed with unspecified psychosis, depression, and anxiety. The chance of me having sex is slim and the chance of me having kids is even slimmer. My coworkers know about my mental issues. I ended up in a mental hospital for a bit, and they wondered where I was, and this one parent was trying desperately for me to have sex, because sex would cure my depression and a baby would cure my psychosis. Why is she entitled? Because she has 3 kids that she only kept around for a check and blew all her money on drugs. But she's apparently has enough knowledge to know how to cure mental illness. She also tried hitting on guys young enough to be her kids. And no matter how many times I told her sex wouldn't cure me, she never let it drop. She finally got locked up, and after the second time her kids were taken away. But having kids worked out so well for her, so I should just listen. Let me start off with the fact I have been skateboarding for well over 15 years and anything that could happen at a skate park I have probably seen happen, from super awesome cool tricks to pot smokers, fights, overall counterculture debauchery, and a fair few entitled parents who think their little angels could do no wrong. As I have been growing older and more experienced, 2 major things can go wrong at a skate park to cause injury. First, going bigger and higher than your personal skill level. Second, small unsupervised children being oblivious to the dangerous fast-paced environment around them, inevitably causing a last-second ditch effort to not literally plow them over and send them straight to the emergency room. A counter-argument to the last statement might be to watch closer to these obviously more vulnerable people. In all honesty, that works a vast majority of the time. Small children are unpredictable by nature. Combine this with a dangerous environment, can cause chaos at and very short, hard to react to bursts. That being said, let's get to the entitled parent and going to call Karen from here. It's about 4:30 PM in central US at a scatter park with a full-time dedicated security detail. This park is a part of a much larger complex of parks in the area that has been privately funded. I'm with a couple of friends and the skate park is very busy. It's the first nice Saturday where everything is dry, the sun is out, and warm with not a cloud in the sky after 2 weeks of constant rain. I'm a local at this park and know at least 10 to 15 other locals by name or nickname. Due to the nice day and beautiful weather, randoms decide it's time to leave the nest for the afternoon and visit the local parks. Brad-1 is on a skateboard. BR80-2 is on a Walmart Razor scooter. At first I'm paying them no mind. They are not bothering me or anyone I'm with. As time goes on, the two Brat brothers are increasingly annoying some of the younger locals who voice their discontent. A couple more incidents of them being told to not snake cut off other people. Brad-1 says in a very arrogant tone, "That's my brother you're talking to," at one of the locals. This is where I felt it necessary to now voice my discontent, as I think they are in the wrong and I don't want two brothers picking a fight. I told Brad-1 that Brad-2 needs to watch out for other people. Brad-1 stuck his nose up at me. I shrugged this off. I would have done the same thing if a stange man told me something like that as his age. I'm not an authority figure, he doesn't have to listen to me, and I get that. At one point one of the brats decided to sit down and lay on a ramp that is skated on very frequently. This caused not only myself, but a couple of the local kids to say something. The brat moves deeper into the pool area. It's about a 100 yards of connected ramps going from 2 feet to 15-foot ramps. I'm now keeping a closer eye on them due to these recurring issues with other kids their age. 15 minutes or so passes and him going for a trick at full speed, rolling into a part of the 8-foot section from above. Brad-2 was down there headed towards the shallow end. I feel it's safe to continue with my trick attempt. Right as I've crossed the point of no return on rolling into this very steep ramp, the brat does a 180 on me and turns back towards the deep end, causing me to kick my board away, slam shoulder first into the opposite part of the half pipe, and loudly and colorfully yell at him to watch out. The only time I used profanity in this entire situation. Brad-1 is now helping Brad-2 climb out of the 10-foot section because they do not want to cross my path again, and also accusing me of not watching out. I know you're not talking to me. B1. Yes, I'm talking to you. You almost hit my brother. You two have been constantly in the way all day. I have been skating longer than you've been alive. If I wasn't watching out you'd have a broken arm or worse right now. So shut your mouth. I'm very angry at this point and want nothing to do with these children, and I'm being vocal about it. I do not enjoy yelling at children. It does not make me feel like a big man, only an a-hole. Scatter parks are dangerous enough without having to dodge unpredictable children. After this exchange of words they run off to Mama Bear. I say to myself, go on, tell your mom I'll yell at her too. I'm livid by this point and honestly just want to skate. Sure enough, within a minute or two Karen comes stomping over to me all huffy and puffy. Can I talk to you for a minute? Slash tries to get in my way. No. Slash dodges and rolls into the 8 feet half pipe. I tell her this because I know what she's trying to do and I do not want this confrontation. So I go to the other side of the 8 feet half pipe so she cannot get in my face or touch me. Pulling a full entitled parent move I've seen before when somebody else had to deal with this scenario. She sits on the obstacle I have been skating for the last hour or so, where the brats have routinely been snaking people. Karen, what gives you the right to talk to my kids like that? Me now furious at the situation and going to snap, not wanting to deal with this after already having told her no, I do not want to talk to her. I laid into her loud enough that she couldn't get a word in without screaming over me. Your kids are in the way and creating a dangerous environment for themselves and everyone around them by being oblivious to the flow of the scatter park. I'm not responsible for their safety and should not be expected to be watching your dumb children. Karen now screaming back at me, but they're my kids. I cut her off before she can say another word. I don't care. I do not care if they're your kids, Karen, but I care. If you care then you should watch them closer. Their safety is your responsibility, not mine. I should not feel obligated to care for an out of control orgasm you decided to keep. I have been skating longer than they've been alive, and to make me supervise your brats is not okay. Karen is clearly shocked at this point and has no words for me. She decides to scurry off to the fat meth mouth security guard they have stationed at the gate, who is usually only looking up from Candy Crush, to yell at teenagers for vaping or smoking cigarettes. I explained the situation to the security guard in a calm voice after she managed to hobble over to me. Siding with me and talking with a couple other parents of locals I know, she only said to bring any issue like that to security first. I agreed and went back to skating. Karen and her brats disappeared after this. In the middle of September I went to Cancun for holidays with my mom. We are Mexican, so me first language is not Spanish. Sorry in advance for any mistakes. From a city a bit away from there. Here's the cast for this drama scene. M. Entitled Mother. Egg. Poor mate who just wanted to know how we wanted our eggs. Me. Mom. My mom. So, here goes the scene. We were staying at a really fancy hotel. My grandmother paid the room and plane for us in celebration of my 18th birthday, and we really wanted to make the most of it. This obviously meant they had a lot of foreign people staying, so most of the hotel was managed in English. Everything was great. We got a nice view of the sea and wanted to do a lot of things. Now, my skin is quite sensible to the sun. I get real red real fast. So we went to swim before breakfast. This was when we got the first encounter with M. She was a normal looking lady, not even had a Karen haircut. Her and her 2 sons, both around 8 to 10 years old, were staying in a room 2 doors from mine. So when we went out in our way to the lift we saw them doing the same. My mom greeted politely "Buenas tas," and seeing she didn't answer, and assuming then that she was from other place, corrected to "good morning," and gosh, the look on her face. She looked offended and just nodded in return. She decided to take the stairs instead, even if she had a lot of things from her kids in her hands. Now, I'm a big advocate that there is no way to look Mexican, but my family is a weird Arabic-Japanese mix from 3 generations ago, and you really couldn't tell by eye where we are from. This is gonna be important later. We went swimming to the beach and everything was cool. No bad encounters. I even made conversation with a German girl and my mom with hers. A bit later we went to the main canteen to eat breakfast. It was a damn big place full of food, half traditional Mexican food and the other with more international plates. And as much as I love waffles in the morning, I was feeling a bit more like chilaquiles with eggs. They had this guy making the eggs. You just went near the counter He asked you how you wanted them, and he made them for you. That simple. We stand in queue just a couple people away from our turn. And what do we find? That lady from earlier coming right behind us. This guy had a really broken English, but it wasn't such a problem, since we just really needed to know how the different egg styles were named. His English would improve with the time working there. Egg, good morning. How you want your eggs? Mom, revueltas por favor, scrambled please. The guy sign relived, God know how many time, had passed since he last spoke in Spanish. Egg, saliendo sea, coming ma'am, Jesus en rato no aparica algi and diac como es temporada badger. It's been a while since the last time someone from here appeared. It's slow season. M touched my mother's shoulder. I'm sorry, but could you speak English? Most of us do, so you should as well, you know, to not make anything awkward. My mom feels uncomfortable speaking in English, so I answered. I'm sorry if it bothers you ma'am, but if it's easier for him to speak his own language and we can help, we will. Wow rude. It's his job to know English, but not ours to know Spanish. We won't talk to you in Spanish, don't worry, but right now we aren't speaking to you. Just don't speak Spanish at all while there's people. I'm really sorry, but we have the right to speak any language we want. Well, at least speak your own language, and don't ridicule the rest of us for speaking English. And my language would be, how would I know? Korean? Now, for the record, not me nor my mom look a bit Korean. I don't know where she got that. Yes, we look a bit East Asian but not Korean. Ma'am, Spanish is my and my mother's language. We aren't trying to ridicule you. We are just asking for scrambled eggs. She raised her voice. It was that simple to ask for your eggs in English. Next time do it for a start. We were done and just turned around. The eggs were already served. My mom 2 egg, muchas gracias. Le encargo otras dosis reladas para imhija por favor. Thank you very much. I would want another 2, fried, for my daughter please. He looked at the and said clarosito of course miss, while cracking the eggs estoy pasa milliseconds seguido de lo pinza. Los gringos se ponen bien especiales. This happens a lot more often than you expect. Americans get really weird. Walked away, and we thought we were saved from her yelling, until a few moments after, when we were already out of the queue, and she was back with the manager. It was him. He didn't want to cook my eggs if I didn't ask for them in Spanish. Manager, is that true? Egg was frozen. I stepped in. No es verdad. La cia requiere hacernos hablar inglés a la fusa. Todavía se quiere su turno. It's not true. She wanted us to speak English at force. It wasn't even her turn yet. Manager, miss, she says you wanted them to speak in English. Well, as it should be, they have nothing to do speaking in Spanish in here. Manager, looking so resigned. Sorry, there is nothing I can't do against that. They are staying here just as you are, and can speak anything they please. If you wish, there is another person making egg at the other side of the buffet. What an unprofessional place. I want you to know that me and my family is not coming back. Manager, we are sorry to hear. Enjoy the rest of your stay. He was so done. God knows how many people like her he's dealt with. Long story short, she just stayed one more day and was always looking at us like we were some kind of bug, whispering things to her children while directly staring. Did we care? Not really. Thank you for watching. Slap that like button and comment your opinion on these stories below. I'm waiting. Write that comment. Seriously. Have you written it yet? If you don't comment, you make a bunny cry somewhere. You're not that kind of person, I know. Anyways, peace out, and catch you tomorrow.